Hey, Tom.
Hey, Pat, do you want to start off this episode with a very hot take?
You know, at some point we're going to do Scorch Fest, so I got to get in the mindset to receive some of these steamers. So, yeah, I'm ready.
Every original Christmas song is bad.
Okay. Just play the music, just play it, and then...
What is going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
And I'm Pat.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast. Okay, let's immediately walk it back.
I was going to say, like bad sports talk radio in a small market. Coming up after the break, everything is bad. I'll go back on my every word right after this weird commercial for a local car auto dealership. Yeah, well, I guess I'd explored that line of thought if every Christmas song wasn't at some point an original, I guess. So please do clarify. Someone invents music and it's like, weirdly, it came with a batch of Christmas songs that are all originals.
But like, I don't know, there's something about that era of music where nothing, and maybe it's just the way music happened back then, there was only room for 5 artists and 20 songs. So like, no original from this era will ever achieve Let It Snow status. But bands, boy, do they try. Every year, everyone tries. Do you have to make an attempt at a Christmas song?
Well, let's just, Tom, I know Scorchfest is on the horizon. Let's just relax. And let me ask you a couple of questions. Wham is not from like the 40s, and Last Christmas is a bop, I think certifiably, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I don't know. The Taylor Swift covers swell. I think it's in the rotation.
Covers. Right?
No, the original was by Wham, though. I'm saying so at least 80s-ish ones were getting written. And we do a show. We should have just jumped here immediately. I guess, like, does that include You'll Shoot Your Eye Out? Are all the Fall Out Boy takes that have been rumbling inside your evil little belly just pouring out this year?
You know what? Fall Out Boy's never even written a good song in general. That band sucks, dude. No, just kidding.
Man.
No, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out is made... For anyone that doesn't know, I'm joking. But no,
yes.
You'll Shoot Your Eye Out is probably one of the exceptions to the rule. But last year we did was it a draft, or we just kind of talked about 5 songs that zagged when everyone else zigged?
Well, let's recap for the last few years. We have cornered ourselves immediately for doing this. We've been doing this show for a few years. The first year we did just the history of like Christmas songs. And then in the same episode drafted our all-time Christmas favorites. So immediately nothing was left on the board, which was not a great long-term planning move on our part.
This podcast wasn't supposed to make it to episode 20.
We were like, we are giving it everything we've got. And we were excited. I think Zach joined us and everything. Last year we explored originals as opposed to down the middle of the plate covers. Because I think throughout doing the show, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out comes up every year, and Reliant K's Let It Rain, Dear. That's only half the title. But, there's kind of those two ends of the spectrum, and there's a lot in the middle. And there's a lot that's not, like, great. Last year, we explored what's the batting average for originals being, like, even hitting a single, even not even knocking it out of the park, just, like, reasonable, like, Christmas originals.
Oh, my God.
And I think we just wanted to touch on last year that the batting average isn't spectacular. And I think it's okay to say that. I don't think we're breaking much ground. I think that's what you were coming in from the top ropes, just like full people's elbow, ready to just rock the world and break everything in half and bring destruction. And I love that spirit. I think Scorchfest cometh, and I think we're gearing up. But I think that's, if I had to translate, that's my guess as to what you're trying to take a stab at here.
No, I mean, really, I don't want to throw Newfound Glory under the bus, but I'm super going to. They put out a holiday album, and I listened to like the first 30 seconds of the first song, and they were just naming other Christmas songs.
It was so bad. It's like, I love watching Home Alone. And it's like, I can't do it.
And I'm out.
We almost did an episode. Our Twitter followers were helping us out, trying to give us the assist. They were like, "Hey, you should do Punk Goes Christmas." And the last song on that record, it came out in 2015. William Beckett does this like really from the heart ballad, and it's so bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. And you want these things to be good. Anyway, today. It's a Christmas. It's a holiday. It's a holiday season. We're breaking decade is what we're trying to say. We are now full on, not just birthdays, any holiday. We're extremely breaking decade. But we have a pop punk checklist. Yeah, 2015. We're going into the 2010s, further than we've ever gone. We did King for a Day for my birthday. We're doing Neck Deep from 2015.
Wow.
Their song called December, of which there are 3 versions, Tom. That's so many versions of a song to have.
I texted you. So when we were kind of toiling over what episode to do, there was a lot of back and forth for like 4 days of like, I think.
Well, I was like, do we owe it to William Beckett to learn to love this song in the next 48 hours?
Well, I thought you were getting kind of frustrated with me because you were like, Tom, we got to come up with something. And I was almost to the point where I was like, let's just bail on a Christmas episode. There's literally nothing to talk about. And there's not much going on. So we have to go out of the decade to find anything even remotely interesting to talk about. And it's not even necessarily a Christmas song, but it recently turned December. So
we're opening it way up. It is now a 20-year period and an entire month that may or may not be holiday related whatsoever. So there is a whole new galaxy of songs for the Christmas episode available based on this particular pick. But I think it still counts for the show and all this, and we'll go through the pop punk checklist later because I had to prepare mentally to get ready for the 2010s pop punk scene that we are just not even wading into, just tucking and cannonballing into the water, jumping into the deep end. As you joked earlier, we're going neck deep. So that was really bad and awful. And anyway, should we touch on, you want to do the checklist now?
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's start slow. There seems to be a rule for 2010s pop punk that is not one from the 2000s, and this is just something that from afar you pick up on. It's the 2-word band name with as few syllables as possible, preferably. I just wanted to serve the tennis ball softly your way at the country club and let you return it on that point.
All right, I'll give you one. State Champs. Probably one of the biggest ones that would come to mind.
Yeah, we're talking bands like State Champs even. That's it. No, just kidding. Real Friends, though, is what I was going to say.
Give me Moose Blood.
Okay, how many single or 2-syllable? I might go Knuckle Puck. That's a 3rd syllable. We're already fading.
Oh my gosh. But not like Pacific. We're going up to 4 really quickly.
Oh God. Yeah, it's falling apart. But I don't even know if you would tie modern baseball into this. I think that's a different like stratosphere than Neck Deep and State Champs based
Boston
on like
Manor.
just
Trophy Eyes.
Yes, but I think some of those also there's a rule where like you either go 2 syllables, 2 words, or the word manor is in your song. Your band name. It's like a lot of weird rules. We're venturing into unknown territory here. Anyway, the point is a lot of 2-name bands. That's one of the rules. Gang vocals. Familiar territory. Some light screaming. Familiar territory.
Oh yeah.
And these are the checklists. This checklist is for this particular Neck Deep record, by the way. Life's Not Out to Get You. Extremely specific pop culture references. A lot of Fall Out Boy stuff we talk about on the show in the 2000s. Threat Level Midnight. Pretty damn specific.
Oh man.
Office reference. And Kali Ma. Pretty specific Indiana Jones reference. That I thought was just a song about the Midwest, but it's about, when he says Indiana, he's not talking about the state. He's talking about the fictional character. So I'm a dumbass. Talking about friends that'll bail you out when you're in over your head. My friends are the best. What's that YouTube video you shared with me where they just, somebody made fun of the I Have Great Friends pop punk song that every band writes.
Put band saying Friends for 7 minutes straight or whatever.
Yeah. My friends will kill you. My friends are friends. Friendship is the best. Anyway, check. A girlfriend who chooses to spend at least some of her time at work and not with the narrator. Check.
Ooh.
Extremely check. A town with no way out when there's not much to do anyway. Check.
No.
Check, 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 check.
Nice.
A feature from Mark
man.
Hoppus and a producing credit from Travis Barker. Check. So
They've got it.
we've got rules. There's some rules that a lot of these bands follow, and so this counts for the context of the show. I think we're allowed to talk about a song by Neck Deep off this record.
Another thread that I do want to mention is that, first of all, the song Gold Steps is so good, but the music video is basically people chasing them down the street to get to their performance. Check. Like every band has to have one of those videos. Kind of a meet the band thing, but it's a pretty good video. I enjoy it either way.
Sure. What's interesting about December is that, you want to do a few fast facts? We're not doing like the history of the band or anything today. We've been reading from Wikipedia a lot lately. Although if we didn't, the show would be much shorter, but I think we'll have to try to find a balance there. We're not doing a history of the band, but a little background on the song itself, because I don't think we're going to be doing an entire episode, or could do an entire episode on just the song that appeared originally on the album. Right. Because there's a whole music, we'll get there, but there's a whole music video blowout with we'll get there. I'm getting way ahead of myself. Anyway, Life's Not Out to Get You. It's the second studio album. They're they're Welsh. They're a Welsh pop punk band. And what's perpetually interesting about UK acts is that how often they don't seem to speak with an accent whatsoever. I guess I wouldn't be able to place a Welsh accent. I'm kind of admitting I didn't watch any interviews with them. Do you know what they sound like?
I only know what they sound like because at the end, or no, what is it? In this record, they have this little talking bit where they're like, "Neck deep as shit, mate. Bet the dad owns a record label."
I hope you get your ballroom floors with the rosy doors. Oh, governor. Hey, Mark Hoppus, you want to come sing on this song?
But no, it's shocking. It's shocking when
yes, truly, because it sounds, when they said Indiana, I'm like, oh, they're probably from Indiana. I don't know, but they weren't talking about Indiana.
Mr. Jones.
Yes. Following the success of their debut album, Wishful Thinking, in 2014, the majority of the band members quit their day jobs, and vocalist Ben Barlow dropped out of university.
Uni.
And they started working with Jeremy McKinnon. I'm combing over a lot of the finer details, but they were very involved with McKinnon from Day to Remember. Andrew Wade, Tom Denny, they worked with and recorded this second album between December 2014 and January 2015. Following the recording, the band went on tour, and the album wound up charting number 8 in the UK, reached top 20 in the US, and reached top 40 in Ireland and Australia. I know!
Wow.
This is one of those, every Friday people do their 5x5s or whatever, or there's a lot of pop punk or emo covers art that gets thrown around on emo or pop punk Twitter. Yeah, people fucking love this album. They really, really adore it. Right. And I'm kind of glad to have been able to spend more time with it. You kind of, at first I'm like, oh, this is, I used to joke with you earlier, years ago in our friendship, and even earlier on the early versions of this pod, you got me into the Wonder Years, but there was a certain level of what I used to call cookie cutter pop punk that I just wasn't that into at the time. And I think for me, for a while, my uneducated opinion was I'm never going to listen to State Champs because I'm just going to make fucking sweeping assumptions about their band and every band that has 2 words and 2 syllables total. And, and I'm just going to not go there. But damn, they've got it. This is a good record. Everyone is right for tweeting about it for years on emo Twitter. Yeah, it really is so terrific. And anyway, in March 2016, an EP was released featuring Serpents and Can't Kick Up the Roots, as well as remixes of both songs by Mark Hoppus of Blink-182. In July, 2 new versions of December were released as singles, one featuring Hoppus and the other featuring Take It Away, Tom.
Chris Carrabba of Dashboard Confessional. What?
What? What?
I repeat, what?
We're going to do another one. And we're going to do another one. Yeah, I was, sometimes we do the show and we're like, oh, I wonder if there's a music video. Because sometimes there just isn't, right? When we're looking for episodes to do and good videos. There was the lyric video with the recognizable cover art for the album. There was a part 1 and a part 2 of this double docu-series featuring 2 of the biggest dudes we talk about on the show on a weekly basis. I was like, oh, there might be something here. Tom might have knew what he was talking about when he suggested doing this. And they take you on a little cinematic journey. I don't know if it's Fall Out Boy extended universe level eccentric filmmaking or anything like that, but takes you on a little ride. Any thoughts? Anything you learned this week that kind of made you like the band more, a little less? How are you feeling? How are you? How's your tummy?
My tummy's good. I actually didn't know there were 3 versions when I recommended the song. I had never heard the Chris Carrabba version because I was like, dude, it's crazy. There's 2 versions, like a slow one, a fast one. And then when you text me, there's a 3rd one. I thought that like one of us got something wrong, but there's legitimately 3 versions and I can't really understand why.
So did you know this original version and like it when it came out? Okay, so you have what's your relationship with the song like until this week?
I wasn't really that familiar with it immediately when it came out, but if we want to dig into some reminiscent history, episode 2 of the podcast was the first time we did Songs of the Week. The very first song of the week ever was Serpents by Neck Deep.
Wow.
And you didn't like it.
Hey, it doesn't surprise me. I think back then I was very close-minded to, now Serpents isn't one of the songs I attached to this week when I was kind of digging into that album for the first time. But back then I was definitely on the train of like, I guess as a fun bit, going to close myself off to like a wide range of new music, a super sweeping swath of, anyway, as like a fun way to just like, I don't really know what it was supposed to be. Anyway, very willing to admit that I was wrong at the time.
And also, I don't really know why, but I was reading the show notes for episode 2. And can I just read them? Because it's so quaint to think of what we talked about.
Go for it.
All right. I wrote, Tom and Pat talk this week about, first of all, rough start. Tom and Pat this week talk about sleeping through the robbery of your own apartment, which was me, applying for a CEO position with no experience. I forgot that I did that when Trump was elected. I applied for a bunch of CEO positions, and my reason was nothing matters anymore. Waking up with uninvited strangers in your bed. And I don't know why, but the first link in this episode was Top Thrill Dragster. And I just think this has been Chris Lukey's podcast since day 2.
It really has. Yeah. Sorry for cursing you out every week, Chris. Okay. So you, I guess they wouldn't have released it until a little while later, but do you like the slower version or the faster version better? Let's just go there.
It's hard, man. I mean,
because you had a relationship with the one first, but I'm just going to say that the faster version is so obviously and objectively superior. As soon as you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, this makes total sense. I don't know, just the energy of that whole album, and you hear the fast version, you're like, oh. I don't know. Also, his like lyrics, like some of the rhymes are, I don't want to say clunky, but they're unique, and they're hidden a little smoother or better in the quicker version. In the slower version, rhyming city, I don't know, clunky is not the right word. There's nothing wrong with his songwriting or his lyrics, but I just felt everything came together as a better like cohesive piece in the quicker version.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, this album itself is pretty special to me because I found it right when we moved to Denver, and we were living in that Airbnb for a month. We were looking for jobs. We were looking for a house. Everything was very new. And Megan and I were like sharing a car, driving around, getting to know the city. And we listened to this album on repeat. And like the original December was one of those songs that I guess we were listening to. So maybe that's why I'm a little more nostalgic for it. But, the full band version is obviously very good. I think I'd like them both equally for separate reasons.
Gotcha. That was a very up and down time for you. It's weird that you're not in Denver now still.
I know.
Like I know having children is like a bigger life change, but man,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like that long ago. Anyway, enough about our podcast and more about the band Neck Deep from Wales. Because that will inform like the fast and slow parts, because the videos are kind of shot to suit them.
Yes. So going back to the faster version, one of the top YouTube comments from Ferdinand Parba, I think maybe you identify with this. He said, "I like this version more because it hurts me less."
I think you're onto something, except that I don't know that that's true.
Oh, okay.
I think the fast version does a fine job.
Oh.
Although it is a little weird. There was a stand-up routine that went viral or semi-viral a few weeks ago of someone who was just kind of like, it's not surprising that the pop punk scene is so filled with troubles and missteps because people keep sing about high school way too late into life age-wise. So you mentioned about not being able to emotionally relate to newer stuff. I think it's probably because we listen to pop punk and it is exclusive at a very long ago section of life. So this song is great, and that YouTube commenter is correct in what he's pointing out. But it is a little tough to get yourself there mentally when you're putting the Similac into the bottle, shaking it, and giving it to a 2-month-old. You know what I mean? So it's kind of there's not a ton of source material to go back, but it's a banger, certified. So it is something to be reckoned with emotionally. But like we've hinted on the show lately, it's a little bit of a different experience, I guess, from on the other side of the dad spectrum.
For sure.
Because they're going for it. They are fucking going for it. I was thinking about listening to Mark Hoppus on the song, and I'm like, they could come out with a record with Tom or the guy from Alkaline Trio, Matt. And I just don't think they have that song in them. They're old now. That's fine. They could write fine music. But
can they?
There's something about the song you write when you're 19 through 23 about that girl and the details of the house they want. And you're on the car thinking whether or not you're going to see Chicago, thinking about the color of the doors and shit. That's a big fucking swing. You know what I mean? And we love the bands that do it. I think in the genre, there's always that love letter. And kind of the best songs are the ones where the guy realizes we talk about the Reddit, the subreddit, am I the asshole or whatever, where it's the more self-aware stuff where you're just hey, it's better that you're not with me, but I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you, girl. You know what I mean? And there's something gut-wrenching about it, but
one of the worst heartbreaks I ever had was this second week in December after I ordered her Christmas present, but before it was delivered. And it was brutal. Christmas sucked that year. And
wait, can you say that sentence slower so the whole world can let it rain over them?
The girl broke up with me after I ordered her present.
It was after you had ordered the present,
but before it was delivered.
Oh God, right.
So when I
supply
got
chain for sure.
When I got it, I ended up asking if she still wanted it, and she said yes. She took it.
And this was after the breakup, before the delivery. Gotcha. That's tough. I got to say, just from any perspective, that's not a great Christmas for you.
Yeah. Pretty rough. It was a pretty rough 10 months, if I'm being honest. But
was this in DC?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was. You know who it was.
I'm sure I do.
Just brutal. Lots of songs written about that. But so I don't know. I think there's another reason why I like songs that make me want to jump off a cliff, or that's why I like this one. Maybe it's too real. We were talking about, I was 3.5 months from graduating college. I was gonna move in with her and her 2 kids, and we were talking about literally organizing a life and how for me to transition into being a parent, a stepdad figure. And then it was December 13th, just oh, hey, by the way, see ya. So, I get it. I feel this song. And I don't think that
it's almost we're not going to be doing annual Christmas episodes anymore. We're going to be doing annual seasonal depression episodes. It sounds like, I think you might be onto something, and I'm half kidding, but also songs with the word December in them are not to be fucking trifled with. I joke all the time on the show about the song Long December by the Counting Crows. Say what you want about the lead singer's hair or the song itself. Back to December, Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
We're Swifties here at the show. It's just dangerous shit, man. And I don't think this song falls on that caliber or that tier. But after hearing all 3 versions and spending a week with it, I'm not so fucking sure anymore, man. I think just the word December is just danger. It's a dangerous elixir when that shit's involved. Maybe it's different for, I don't know. There's something about I don't know. being cold in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that just sets you up to get knocked down by these fucking mammoth songs that just overwhelm you or something. I'm not sure. But like I said, yeah, this is like that level of a swing on their behalf. So it's like, just run me over with a fucking truck.
You know, it's interesting though, because I do think that writing a December song, I mean, they never like mention Christmas or the holidays, but writing a general December or winter song is the safer bet, because then again, you don't get pigeonholed. But the memes went crazy on December 1st with people talking about this song. So like when you put your song in a time or place, you know, you think of what is it, May 5th or whatever the day from Mean Girls is, where she asked the guy, and now on that day everyone tweets about it and it's like a celebration. You know, is there something like marketing
I'm surprised there isn't a
savvy?
pop punk song from the 2010s about that scene in that movie, to be clear.
Your hair looks sexy, push back. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's interesting that like, how is this a song we're talking about on a Christmas episode? Because it's not, but also it feels like it is. And like, you know, we're talking about like bands that zag when everyone else zigged, whatever. Is nihilism the thing to go for on
the
a Christmas
upside
song?
to swinging and connecting on a Christmas song? I suppose we could talk about the money involved with being on like the playlist at Dick's Sporting Goods during the shopping season, like being on that Spotify playlist. I'm sure you're going to get a little more quiche, but you could be an emo Twitter hero if you write a terribly downer December song that just gut punches you every year at the same time.
It seems like you have to write the downer song, because if you don't, it comes off as like it comes off like that weird money grab, you know?
You know, for how often you see people get engaged on Christmas, like you see those pictures on social media and everything. Right. I've never heard like and she said yes on Christmas Eve. I don't know. There's no like yay for love December song. Maybe there is. I don't know. Please do tweet at the show at _reminiscent_FM if I'm wrong. But yeah, you're not mentioning the word of the month December in like a thrilled tone very often, if at all. I guess I don't mind like being proven wrong there, but it seems like it would be rare.
Yeah.
December. Yeah, my friends and my friends. I'm with my friends. My friends and I love December. My friends will save me if I drown in December. My friends are fucking awesome. I have so many of them. Actually, I only have one or two. They are my friends. They're like my brothers, and I don't need girls ever. I'm 30.
Every pop punk song should end with I'm 30.
Yeah.
Alrighty, friends, I hope you're enjoying this quasi-Christmas winter episode, but please allow me the honor and the privilege to give a shout out to our top tier Patreon supporters, our Council of Elders. In this group, we have Andre Prevost, Johnny Leftwich, Jason Carey, Anonymous, Chris Lukey, Nathan Eshelman, Drew Edwards, Carrie Sanchez, Melanie, and Devin Booz. Thank you to the many of you that support us on the Patreon. We've been using this money to put it towards some really fun special projects, and we're looking forward to some really fun ones coming up in 2022. If you'd like to check out how you could support the show, you can head to patreon.com/reminiscent. Check out the 3 tiers we offer, and then see our entire back catalog of weekly post shows, video AMAs, all kinds of behind the scenes photos, videos. You can weigh in on future episodes that you'd like us to do, all of that kind of stuff at patreon.com/reminiscent. But thanks again, and back to the episode. All right. Well, we've got 2 videos here.
Yeah.
2 different versions of the song. Can you think offhand of like a lot of songs that have a distinctly different acoustic and full band version? Because usually it's like bands will put out an acoustic version later. What is it? State Champs, who I keep getting an Apple ad for someone that just put out Hot Mulligan just put out acoustic volume 1.
Yeah. Did you listen to the acoustic Backyard, by the way?
I haven't listened at all. No.
It is I guess a testament to how good the original is, but I didn't find it translated quite that well, but that's a different topic.
Gotcha.
For a different day.
But like, usually like the acoustic thing is an afterthought, but they like just made two different versions. I like maybe Love Your Friends Die Laughing.
It had to have been a fan-fueled ask, right? Because it didn't seem like it was getting any single love until much later. I mean, again, this is Google, Wikipedia, perusing, but like there wasn't like, and then the first single off the album was December because everyone knew it was going to take over the fucking world. Emo Twitter would never be the same. It was kind of like, oh, people are really seem to be connecting with the song. But it must have been a strong enough emotional reaction from everyone because they decided to go bigger than people usually go for. Well, I can't even say usually. Like you said, this is a very unique thing. Like, hey, let's do a double music video release with two huge stars and release two new versions. Although the Chris Carrabba version isn't that different, right? Like, it's pretty true. I didn't want to just say that and be misinformed, but it's kind of the fucking same, right? But he's talented and he takes it to a great place, but it's similar in spirit.
I believe, just from listening a handful of times, that it is the original recording. They just kind of redid the ending on vocals, but I think the instrumentals are the exact same take. I think this was meant to replace the original, and then the Mark Hoppus version was something just totally in addition to.
Yeah. You want to start walking through the video of the first one? Which
For sure.
might be... No, actually the Hoppus one, I have to say this before we get into this. You know how we always give a shout out to like great parentheses songs?
Yeah.
The song by Neck Deep called December, in parentheses, again, in brackets featuring Mark Hoppus, is the best parentheses song I've seen. You know what? We're new to the 2010s. Until it gets dethroned, that's the best parentheses song of the 2010s. I'm just going there because who knows how long we'll be doing the show. But that's an amazing use of brackets and parentheses. I love that. I don't know. It's just really amusing.
It's amazing. It really is amazing.
Okay.
But yeah, so part one...
Yeah.
The Carrabba
Neck Deep
video.
December, parentheses, featuring Chris Carrabba. Still fun, not as fun, but.
So this is the acoustic version.
Yeah. Girl is living not in a trailer park, but is more of a millennial rover with a camper. Her significant other is a man who is a musician. Perhaps he's touring. Perhaps they're on the road in that sense. The narrator is in a suit somewhere, and he's the lead singer of the band.
Yes.
The man in a suit. Strong jawline, if I had to say.
Oof.
Capital STRONG, strong. Anyway, they're living happily, ? Hanging clothes, very cute, very Instagram, very Pinterest life, I guess, is what we're led to believe. At first, sneaking up on each other, kind of a fucking lot, kind of too many times. I don't know how cute it is to continually sneak up on each other as a couple. You're just like, all right, man. I'm like doing homework for the class I'm taking, like relax with the whole like, very tense on the ribs. Oh,
dude, I hate that so much. If you come up from behind me and you grab my ribs, I'm not going to be fucking happy, dude.
Dude, my brother and I, for years, I would like rub his shoulders and he'd be like, one year he was just like, can you fucking not? And I was like, whoa, what? He's like, I thought it was like this weird big brother thing to do this, like make me feel uncomfortable because you were doing it too hard. I'm like, it hurt me so much. I was like, dude, I thought I was just genuinely rubbing your shoulders for almost like 10 years this was going on. And he was like, can you fucking not? Anyway, I was like, wow, I can't believe you thought that of me, to be honest with you. I was like, I got to reevaluate a whole bunch of shit now. Not only my technique for rubbing shoulders, but like the fact that perception lived on for that long.
My God.
I was very hurt by that. Anyway, yeah, the third time he does it in a video, I'm like, all right, that's like, okay.
Ran out of B-roll or something.
Do you think they're going to notice how often he's doing this? It's like, it's kind of all he did. Anyway, so that's why immediately from the jump, you're like, I don't know who the fucking antagonist is, just based on this alone. But it goes on. So he's a musician. He seems to have writer's block, right? So we get the first taste of like, it's not all wine and roses. He finds like her interior design catalog passion or something. Is it upset by that?
Okay.
Yeah, talk to me because what the is going on? Like beautifully shot. I love both versions. The videos, it was a fun thing. Heavily confused throughout nearly all of it.
All right, so
And it has nothing to do with Christmas. I'll just say it.
can't express that enough. So, all right, what I think is happening is it's not like he's mad that she has an interest in interior design. I think
That's
that
what
they
I
are.
thought. I was like, she looked at some pictures of rugs, and then they're out in the courtyard just duking it out. I'm like, I missed something very significant.
So it kind of seems like maybe there's a little bit that may have been missing, but what I'm inferring is that they are genuinely poor. They live in a trailer, and it was a magazine where it had like this, it was like a home and guard magazine with like this nice bed with quilts and all the stupid fucking pillows that you never use. And so my interpretation was that the guy kind of felt like a little emasculated, like she's dreaming of this perfect life and he's afraid that he can never give it to her. Like she wants more.
Okay.
When he thought they were content.
Is Guitar Boy the narrator? Because in these two videos, we just have to say it, I expected her to and the narrator, the lead singer, to get together, but he really is just narrating the story. So is Guitar Guy the narrator? And are those the shortcomings he feared and is injecting into this?
I think so. So it's not just the singer in the video. The whole band is there. And when they start fighting later,
he's describing a scene that he used to be in and it's being played by an actor in this video.
Yes.
And he's the musician that can't pay the bills or whatever.
I think so.
Gotcha. At this point, he has not learned that less is more, unfortunately. And it leads to some infighting.
Right.
Okay.
One of the lines that I really love in the song is the whole chorus is really, really good, but right into the pre-chorus, I guess, the kind of iconic line, pain is never permanent, but tonight it's killing me. That stings, dude. That really stings. And it sets up the chorus nicely, although I think at this point we are beyond the chorus in the video, but
Lovely, barely breathing, but you came out all right. I love that one. Anyway, let's not just go line by line. Sorry, you got me excited. Anyway, you got me excited for the Hoppus version. Let's get through the Carrabba's version. Carrabba.
Okay.
She's asleep in the camper after the fight, and then Carrabba comes in from the top, fucking ropes, and just annihilates the track, doing what he does, right?
There are few things better than Chris Carrabba when his voice gets a little crackly and he's hitting the high notes. It is just, oh man, that is early 2000s emo to me. Just Chris Carrabba doing his shit.
Is December Neck Deep's Hands Down?
Oh, I was really confused.
I think what I was trying to explore earlier was I think there's an emotional peak that a writer could hit that they can't replicate in their 40s. Probably. I'm sure there are exceptions, but
I like that.
I just don't think Hoppus could write a song with this much Rose Red Dorsey. Basically nothing matches your first love or whatever, right? Obviously, as the human condition, human experience. This feels that level of heaviness though. That's assuming that Hands Down was Carrabba's emotional peak, which could just fucking be false.
Maybe vindicated, but Hands Down had the acoustic and the full band version as well. So maybe there's, maybe there's something there.
Anyway.
Yeah, Chris Carrabba comes in. He does the, I miss your face, you're in my head. There's so many things that I should have said. A year of suffering, a lesson learned. Oof.
Man, no. I got to go back on all of that. And we will maybe even have to explore this in another episode. But After Laughter by Paramore kind of debunks all of that immediately.
What?
Very later in the career, they're hitting new, different emotional peaks that are just as gut-wrenching, even though they sound 80s-y. Anyway.
I don't get the point you're making.
I was trying to think, is it possible the artist hits their emotional, peak, their biggest swing early in their career? I immediately thought of the Paramore trajectory where they have All We Know Is Falling and Riot, and it's ugh. And then Brick by Wearing Brick, ugh. And then it's After Life.
Yeah.
This is a pretty heavy fucking band, actually. They just can't stop being at that level. So and immediately poking holes in that theory. But
Gotcha,
my brain was stuck there,
okay.
but I'm moving along, and I'm sorry for dragging you down. You had a good momentum going.
All good, man. But yeah, man, it's good. So, I mean, how does it wrap up here?
Okay. The camper guy's imperfect. I think we're like establishing that, right?
Sure.
There's like flashback. Is it a flashback where there's like a parking lot wedding with like candles? But I think this first video is showing us that the honeymoon is over, or there's like the reality of life on the road, or life of like decisions have been made. She's living with him, and there's like trouble in paradise, right? She's back at the crib, but he takes off in a car. Like he's like out.
I don't think it was a wedding. I think it was just trying to display the difference between quote unquote now and then. Like the last,
so it was
early on,
a
she goes out, she leaves the trailer. It's a flashback of a candlelit pathway, and they have like a date night. But this time she's walking out sad, alone.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's in a car driving away. He has like been like mad enough by interior design to flee, which is a rare scenario to find yourself in. Just kidding. Anyway, but they're apart. He almost crashes. He's an emotional wreck. She's an emotional wreck. Trouble in Paradise. To be continued shows up on the screen. And then we see our strong-jawed narrator. He is taking the stage at a venue. And I'm like, oh, I'm still thinking she's going to end up with him. But again,
Gotcha.
That's not how it goes. Like in my head, the whole time, almost, anyway, he's just telling us this story, and he's in this story. It's just played by a different guy. Anyway, He comes out of the waiting room at this like wedding venue, and he's playing with the full band, and it's fucking go time, basically, right? We've got brackets, we've got parentheses in the song title. We're just firing on all fucking cylinders here. Mark Hoppus is on the track. Billed is part 2 in the video.
Yes.
And it's the fast version, Tom, which is the best version. It's so superior. I love it so much. To me, it just is. And I think it's okay to say that. But obviously I say that because it's my opinion. But
it's interesting how true it is to the original. You get the strumming part of the dun 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 in the acoustic, and then in the full band version, it's just dun 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 dun, like palm
it
mutes.
translates so well. It's
I
just
know.
like, oh, this makes such like on a cell level sense. It's just like, fucking, this is what I was waiting to hear. This is it, man.
Yeah.
And it kind of just gets
so
into
good.
that first verse, and you're like, I you know how they're going to do it, but you don't know. And then they deliver, and it just hits. It's so good. Okay. Anyway, Camper Girl is in between jobs at this point. The guy hasn't come back that night. Like he's away for a bit. She gets a string of odd jobs. She's busing.
He died in a car accident, ? Right?
I thought she dances with him at the end. Tom, I have no idea what is going on in either of these videos.
Jesus, Pat. You need to be
Is
more
that not
observant,
him at
my
the end?
friend.
They don't show the
Okay.
guy she dances with for a minute very well. I'm like, that could be him. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Well, for
Why
anyone
don't
that
you walk me
hasn't
through?
watched,
I don't know. I usually do it every week, but obviously I'm fucking unqualified.
for anyone that hasn't watched the 2-video series, hit pause, go to our show notes, reminiscentpodcast.com/episode/254. We'll have links to all 3 versions of the songs.
Just watch the 2
videos. Just watch the 2. And because there's kind of some cool stuff that clearly Pat did not catch that we're going to go through, that if you haven't seen
he
it-
didn't die in the crash. Let me hear your version of what you think you saw before I
Okay.
like totally hand over my dignity, which it's already pretty fucking in question.
So at the end of, and now we're getting to the spoilers. All right. So at the end of the first video, he's driving and you hear a honk, and the only thing you see is the car flying into the other lane. That's it. And then in the second video, they're at a funeral. So you imagine that he's dead, right? That's what they're setting up.
The funeral does make a lot more sense now. When you put it like that. But he's in a band singing now. He didn't die. All right.
But the singer is not the protagonist.
But I
He's
think
just
that
there.
I think he is.
But like by extension. No, it's okay. So the band is just their auxiliary
No, I'm
performers.
saying it's a story of it's a story that took place in his life. I
Yeah,
know
but-
the actor is not the singer. What I'm saying is,
I know
he wouldn't be singing in Neck Deep if he died in a fucking car crash. Is my point, Tom.
Can someone tweet at me and tell me that I'm not the fucking crazy one here?
I'm saying I'm wrong. It's his funeral. I just didn't see it that way the first time. That's all. It's not. No one's going to jail, son. It's just I saw it different. The first few. Whatever. We're moving along. Fine.
Okay.
He's dead, I guess. But when I say the guy she dances with for a brief moment towards the end of the part 2.
Okay. Let's slow it down.
Let's slow it
down.
He looks enough like the guy where I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay. So when I found out the other day that there were 2 music videos, I didn't know what to expect, right? But they tied them in together so wonderfully. So the guy dies in the first video. Starts off, she's in a funeral. She's at a funeral looking super sad. And she's like kind of going through some of his stuff. She finds his tape recorder, hears his music, giggles a little bit, like she's like remembering him and good thoughts, etc.
Okay. This is where I got confused. And I will say this calmly because I'm acknowledging I'm wrong. This whole time I was viewing this as if she was going to reunite with the band singer in the video. Like that was the former lover. That's why it makes no sense. Anything I was saying has made no sense at this point. Because why would she leave a music guy to join a music guy? You know what I mean? Anyway, you're right. I'm wrong and I'm sorry is what I'm saying. Like she's like listens to the music of the previous music boyfriend and reminisces about him, but not the second music boyfriend. You're right. You're right and I'm wrong.
Dude.
I don't even know where I was mentally while watching this. I'm sorry.
It's like the band are just like ghosts. They're just in the background performing.
No, I get this now. What I'm saying is, in the video, I thought she like had left a musician for a musician.
No, but like they're 2 different guys.
No, Tom, I fucking know. But I was looking at it so literally.
The singer is not the boyfriend.
Tom, I fucking know this. But I thought that in the context of the video, the singer was a previous singer-songwriter boyfriend. The point of my confusion, I thought when she pulls out this tape, she's thinking of the Jaw guy and is like, oh, I remember the first musician boyfriend I had. His music was a little better. He didn't have writer's block. Anyway, I was wrong. It was
the same. It's the same tape recorder from the guy, the first guy.
I'm sure there are many more examples about what I was looking at through some weird ass glasses. I was wrong. I don't even know what the I was looking at.
Okay. Well, let's move on then. So it's kind of bouncing back and forth between like the funeral and then thinking of the past of when the guy was alive and kind of going through the trailer and stuff. And what we see is a notebook that says, we met at a funeral. And the camera pans up to the main girl, and it's the guy who left and died in the car accident. And what you realize is that the funeral is the past. It was like her grandfather's funeral where she met the boyfriend. So the director
now you're
wanted
just pissing
you to...
me off, Tom. You made me feel like a damn fool for like 20 minutes on this show. And it wasn't even his funeral. I was right about it not being his fucking funeral. God damn it.
So it was someone else's funeral, and you realize the funeral is actually the past, and what you thought was the past is actually the present. So she's remembering how they met. The guy eventually comes back in the car. He didn't get into an accident. He comes back, the embrace, the song ends. And I'm not going to lie, dude, I had to watch it twice to really understand what was happening there. But they met at the funeral. It wasn't his funeral. And I thought it was really cool. Like, that is a great way to burn 2 music videos on the same fucking song. I can't say that I've ever seen that done before. And I feel like they did it. Like, maybe the pieces could have been put together a little bit better. But I thought it was a really, really cool thing that they did. I think it was a big swing to put out 2 of the same songs on the same day of a song that has already existed for a year, make 2 videos, and they kind of nailed it. I really thought the twist was great. But yeah, she ends up dancing with the guy at the funeral. He makes her happy. The band's playing. And then you realize, yeah, that was the past. Comes back. They're together. It all makes sense.
Yeah, Mark Hoppus, the caliph of the pre-chorus, the sultan of staccato, the bridge bambino, enters the chat. And
yeah,
does he deliver? Does he make the song better than the band could have done if they just did a quicker version without him?
To be honest with you, I think it's cool he's in it, and I don't want him gone, but I don't think he adds as much to this version as Carrabba added to the other version. Is that fair?
I agree with everything you just said.
Oh, okay.
That's not really what the show is built on, but yep. No, I think you're right. It's cool, but it's kind of like he's as limited vocally as anyone else in the world, so it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like, yeah, anyway. But it's still tremendous. I still like it. I'm just very, that's pretty granular.
There's a part of me that almost wants like a build your own December app where you can take parts from each of the three versions. Like, what if you had the full band version with Chris's part in there instead, or the Chris part but swap it out with Mark's vocals and just kind of like make your own December again. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think one of the options on the app should just be like, or just let Taylor Swift cover any song that references the month of December. Because she'd crush this. She would.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about covers I want recently. This was one of them. One, I want Hot Mulligan to cover Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo. I just speak it into existence. I think they'd just destroy that. I don't even want a Punk Goes compilation involved. I just want them to fucking get after it. Anyway.
All right, man. Yeah, that'd be great. Well,
I had forgotten about the whole storyline in the second video, and I feel like you exploited that today, Tom. And you were like, and then the driver so obviously dies. Am I the crazy one, folks? And I'm like, it wasn't even fucking him. And then like I should have just read down on the doc a little more. And you're like, no, and then the blah blah blah. This is how it goes. And you like had this really elegant way to just like map through the two videos. And I'm like, Tom, hey, the guy didn't fucking die, okay? Anyway, I've just been getting in your way for 5 years now. And thanks for putting up with me.
No, that was a fun one, man. It's not very Christmassy.
No, it's December-y.
The next episode is going to go out on Christmas Eve. I think we're going to try to do a live AMA if we can swing it. We like to try to have fun around the holidays because
I don't know if we'll be going live on Christmas Eve necessarily.
No, not Christmas Eve. Not Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Maybe a week from now, though.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. But we'll have something up for Christmas Eve, an AMA. So hit us up on Twitter at _reminiscentfm. But before we go, let's give a song of the week.
Yeah. Is it weird if I do Dad Vibes by Limp Bizkit?
Not at all.
Someone sent it to me and I'm like, I don't hate this at all, actually. So I don't know why I expected to, I guess. But anyway.
Awesome. After listening to the Mark Hoppus version, YouTube hit me with an autoplay. I wasn't quick enough. And it served me Lonely and Pathetic by Lolo. And bro, I lost an hour of prep for this episode because I just watched that video on repeat. Her shit is awesome. I guess she like opened for Newfound Glory or something.
Is it her or a band, that name?
I assumed it was her because it's just her in all the videos.
Because you had just talked about Under Oath owning the crossed out O last week, and this act just uses two of them.
I know they doubled down on the thing I said no one has done since. Just immediately proved wrong. Yeah, it's LO, and both O's have the diagonal cross. Pretty fucking cool. I don't know. Personally, if it were me, I would just give it to Under Oath, but I think it's cool. But the music's a lot of fun. The music video is a ton of fun, and I'm into it.
Nice.
Well, let's head to the post show for the Patreon supporters.
Yeah, I picked Dad Vibes because I haven't found a groove since we stopped recording, and I feel like every episode's been bad. We'll talk about it on the post show. Sorry, everybody. Bye.
Alrighty, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Please hit us up on Twitter at _reminiscentfm and let us know your favorite original modern day Christmas song. I stand by what I said in that 99% of them are pretty rough. So if you know of a good one, please hit us up. We'd love to hear it at _reminiscentfm. Thank you all so much. Please have a Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you again on Christmas Eve with a live AMA. We love you. Bye, everyone.
December. Fuck yeah, my friends love my fin. I'm with my friends and I love December. My friends will save me if I drown in December. My friends are fucking awesome. I have so many of them. Actually, I only have one or two. They are my friends. They're like my brothers and I don't need girls ever. I'm 30.